The Waynesburg University Criminal Justice Department hires a new professor, and the service fair was held in Johnson Commons.
Plus, the presidential race heats up with the Trump and Harris campaigns making stops in Pennsylvania this week. All this and more coming up on the Newscast, live at 5.
And now, your 5 o'clock news on Channel 14.
Hello and welcome into the Newscast live at 5. I'm Meg Berry.
And I'm Joe Chirillo.
The Waynesburg University Criminal Justice Department added a professor with over 30 years of FBI experience this semester. Our own Anthony DeFilippo has the story.
An attorney, an FBI agent, and now a professor at Waynesburg University. Michael O'Mahony joined Waynesburg's Criminal Justice Department this year after retiring from the FBI 2 years ago. Going from the courtroom to the classroom is no easy transition.
Well, it's a work in progress, that's for sure. I'm getting used to the technology, using Canvas, interacting with the students.
O'Mahony comes aboard with a specialty in interview and interrogation, skills he learned when working in New York City and Pittsburgh with the FBI. O'Mahony was an FBI agent for 31 years before retiring in 2022. For comparison, he was an FBI agent before the first smartphone was invented. His arrival has generated excitement across the entire department.
It's amazing, and it just reaffirms our commitment to hiring people who have had entire careers in criminal justice, who teach not only from the book and from PowerPoint, but more importantly from real-life experience.
O'Mahony hopes sharing his experiences can help set expectations for students getting into the field. He was quickly impressed by what he saw at Waynesburg.
Everything about it appealed to me. It seemed like the other instructors are very hands-on people with practical knowledge. That, and again, the key thing that attracted me to the program itself was the people involved. Dr. Cairns and everyone else, I thought, were great, and I wanted to work with them.
That's just one of a few new changes coming to the Criminal Justice Department in the near future, including the CSI building, which broke ground earlier this year. For WCTV Channel 14, I'm Anthony DeFilippo.
Waynesburg University held a service fair earlier today as well for students looking for more information on service opportunities. Mia Henkins was there and has the details.
Hi, my name is Grace. I'm the Bonner Coordinator here, and I'm also the Resident Director of Denny. Our service fair is a time for all of the students to come and have a conversation with our community partners. We are so happy that all of these community partners can come. Waynesburg is a huge campus for service, so service opportunities are everywhere. So if you just ever want an opportunity for service, come talk to us on the first floor sober in the CSL office, and we'll get you connected.
Well, my name is Bryce McGarvey. This is Josh Gertis. We work for an organization called Urban Impact Foundation located on the north side of Pittsburgh. We work with about 2,300 students a year through athletics, education options, and performing arts. Josh in particular leads our summer day camp program, which serves almost 200 kids during the summertime, helping to bridge math and literacy, as well as give them a sort of a vacation Bible school feel.
Thank you guys for having us. It's a great time.
That's his phone number.
Over the holiday weekend, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris visited Pittsburgh's South Side in a joint campaign event. This being the first campaign event together since President Biden dropped out of the presidential race and Kamala Harris received the Democratic nomination. The two touched the importance of Labor Day and the U.S. Steel company that has been in talks of being purchased by overseas companies for the past 4 years. Harris is expected to continue her bus tour advocating for women's reproductive rights in Pennsylvania until September 10th, when the first presidential debate between Harris and Trump takes place in Philadelphia on ABC.
Harris VP nominee Tim Walz was also in Pennsylvania earlier yesterday. He stopped at the milkshake factory in Moon Township among other businesses attempting to connect with voters in the state. It began with his campaign called A Today Blitz in the state, spanning throughout the end of today. Pennsylvania will be one of the most important swing states of the 2024 election.
Coming up, information from a school shooting in Georgia yesterday.
Plus, a major cocaine bust in Puerto Rico and a creative solution to Hawaii's homeless problem. All that next on WCTV.
This is so spice.
Cornucopia.
Try instead of train.
I love this show.
Welcome back to the newscast live at 5. At least 4 people are dead, 9 others hospitalized with injuries from a shooting at Georgia High School Wednesday. The sheriff's office says a suspect is in custody as they race to piece together what happened. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest from Winder, Georgia.
Out of the 4 people who were killed, 2 are students and 2 are teachers. 9 others were hospitalized with their injuries. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says it was a 14-year-old boy who was a student of the school. Within minutes, school resource officers encountered him and he surrendered. Authorities say that he will be charged with murder and tried as an adult.
This is a parent's worst nightmare, is to hear about a shooting at their child's school.
A suspect is in custody following a shooting at a high school in Winder, Georgia.
At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter.
The Barrow County Sheriff's Office confirmed there were casualties.
This is going to take multiple days for us to get answers as to what happened and why this happened.
Heavy law enforcement presence was seen at Appalachia High School Wednesday, along with several ambulances going to and from the school. Video taken from a nearby neighborhood showed a fleet of law enforcement vehicles racing towards the high school. Another showed a long line of cars thought to be of parents parked in traffic headed towards the school. Others rushed towards the campus on foot.
I've walked almost 2.5 miles to get to the school.
Staff and students were ushered to the football field before being reunited with their parents. Some formed a prayer circle in an attempt to comfort each other, a somber moment in a new school year that only began a month ago. In a statement, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp urged all Georgians to join my family in praying for the safety of those in our classrooms. Investigators say they spoke with the 14-year-old boy accused of killing those 4 people and that there is no connection between him and the victims. They've also spoken with his family. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation will hold another press conference tonight. In Winder, Georgia, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Classes started this week at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater against the backdrop of their own shooting tragedy. After-school gymnast Cara Welsh was fatally shot. Officers responded to an off-campus apartment just before midnight on Friday, to find Welsh with gunshot wounds. Jalen Banks reports.
Very sad time.
That's what many are feeling after the tragic murder of UW-Whitewater gymnast Cara Welsh.
It just makes me think that we need to just enjoy what we can and remember to make friends and make sure that they're always safe and to just check in with people during this time.
For Nicholas, a junior here at UW-Whitewater, the past few days have been uneasy, but he finds a new sense of peace with the arrest of Chad Richards.
It definitely makes me feel a lot better as a student knowing that, because I know when I first heard about the news, I thought, obviously you hear the rumors going around and stuff like that, so you don't know all the information, but I've been hearing a rumor that he's still out there, so the fact that I just heard that he's in custody makes me feel, and in court makes me feel a lot better about the whole situation.
But that doesn't remove the pain many are still feeling.
Definitely some grief happening. I mean, very sad time. I mean, it's just really heartbreaking to see that happen and hear about it.
However, that healing will happen by leaning on what many describe Whitewater to be, a family.
I know the athlete and like the teams, I know they're all like try to be like one family. All the athletics brought together, it's just one big family.
23-year-old suspect Chad Richards is facing charges including first-degree homicide. A judge ordered for him to be held on a $1 million cash bond. Richards' attorney confirmed he is a senior at the university. He has a court appearance set for Friday.
Donald Trump and Fox News anchor Sean Hannity sat down last night for a town hall on the Fox network. This took place for the potential debate that the network and Trump's campaign agreed to do a month ago, but the Harris campaign denied the invite. The September 25th debates Trump's team also agreed to with NBC remains in the air with no definite answer from the Harrison campaign. Both have continued to state their intent to show up to the September 10th debate next week in Philadelphia.
With polls showing Vice President Kamala Harris closing the gap on former President Donald Trump's advantage when it comes to handling the economy, Harris visited New Hampshire today to unveil the new piece of her economic agenda, including new benefits to entrepreneurs designed to spur the creation of more small businesses. Our Washington correspondent Julian Benbrook has the details.
Vice President Kamala Harris is adding tax relief for small businesses to her economic policy platform, aimed at helping the middle class and working Americans. It's an attempt to appeal to a critical constituency that could help boost her chances in November.
Vice President Kamala Harris revealing a new wave of economic goals in New Hampshire Wednesday.
My vision of an opportunity economy is one where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed.
Her proposals include expanding small business tax deduction for startup expenses, cutting the red tape for small business owners, and setting a goal of 25 million new small business applications in her first term.
I believe America's small businesses are an essential foundation to our entire economy. Think about it. Think about it. Small businesses in our country employ half of all private sector workers.
New polling shows that economic issues remain the top concern for voters in battleground states. Trump is the more trusted candidate when it comes to the economy, but Harris trails by smaller margins than President Joe Biden.
The election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries.
Most of the candidates' major economic proposals would require congressional approval.
Trump will likely address Harris's new proposals in some way during his town hall hosted by Fox News tonight in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania. Now, Trump won Pennsylvania back in 2016, but it flipped for Biden in 2020. New polling shows Trump and Harris in a neck-and-neck race there. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Officials in Honolulu are trying to tackle the city's homeless problem head on. Part of the new program includes a bus that can relocate more than 24 people at a time to shelters and respite centers. Kristen Constellino reports.
The people are literally out in our streets being there left to languish and die. We don't want that to happen. Nobody should let that happen.
The city's Crisis Outreach Response and Engagement program, known as CORE, is rolling out its first bus that can transport close to 30 people at a time to homeless respite centers and shelters.
We're not hoping not to have people go back out on the street. The whole idea here is to break that cycle.
With the goal of freeing up ambulances for medical emergencies instead of responding to homeless calls every day.
People were being picked up, taken over to an emergency room, treated, put back out on the street. Nowhere to go.
The city's potentially doubling capacity and improving efficiencies in homeless services with its first CORE bus.
We brought in people, with cancers, with lung conditions, heart conditions, all kinds of maladies right there. They're really difficult.
CORE's fleet, including 2 ambulances and 4 SUVs, will help people get treated and stabilized in hopes of getting them into permanent housing.
We hope to take 1,000 people off the streets this year.
Many of them are suffering from not just chronic diseases, but addictions and mental health issues that are keeping them from getting better. The city is also aggressively working to get as many as 1,000 beds across the island this year so that people have somewhere to go.
Beds of many flavors, helping people on the street get into clean sheets.
Hawaii has one of the worst epidemics of unhoused people in the U.S., according to homelesshawaii.org. Officials say the recent Maui fires have only made the problem worse.
A joint task force intercepted close to 600 pounds of cocaine off the coast of Puerto Rico on Sunday. That's about $5 million worth. Customs and Border Protection cooperated with Puerto Rico's United Rapid Action Forces to bust the boat off the island's coast. 2 U.S. citizens were arrested in the operation and turned over to the Drug Enforcement Administration. It comes less than a week after CBP busted another shipment of more than 650 pounds of cocaine, also off the coast of Puerto Rico. In that case, 2 citizens of the Dominican Republic were arrested.
That will do it for national news. Up next is Mia Henkins with business and entertainment, but first, let's take a step outside with Seth Adams for a quick look at the weather.
Back here on Waynesburg campus, absolutely beautiful day. It's been 80 degrees almost the whole day. Sunny skies back on campus, feels good. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the newscast live at 5. Have you ever wondered what the life of a Yellow Jacket newspaper looks like? Why don't we show you? Straight from the printing press to our editor's desk into the newsstands, you can pick up your own copy of the Yellow Jacket newspaper in Buell Hall, the Stover Campus Center, or any of our other newsstand locations on campus. When you get your very own copy, you can read it at your own leisure anywhere around Waynesburg. You can kill time waiting for your next class to start by reading up on campus news and our op-ed pieces. You can even take your copy to the Beehive and catch up with friends as you read up on the latest regional stories. Looking for a peaceful place to read now? Head on over to the Everly Library. Sit back, relax, and catch up on the latest in Waynesburg sports. Oh, and if you didn't know, we are also digital at theyellowjacket.org.
Welcome back to the newscast. I'm Mia Henkins with your business and entertainment update. Many U.S. discount stores are losing money hand over fist. That includes Dollar Tree, which saw its shares collapse 20% on Wednesday. This slump followed the company's announcement last week that it dramatically cut its full-year forecast. Dollar Tree owns Family Dollar, which is also having trouble with its bottom line. Another discount store in the dumps is Dollar General. Officials there say a weaker job market and inflation are causing some low-income customers to stay away. Dollar stores add that retailers like Target and Walmart are sometimes beating them at their own game by lowering prices on key products. NASA says the Boeing Starline spacecraft will return to Earth this weekend, about 3 months overdue. But the capsule's 2 astronauts have a different itinerary. Karen Kafa is in Washington with today's details from the space agency.
NASA on Wednesday detailing the plan to bring the beleaguered Boeing Starliner space capsule back to Earth without its 2-person crew.
Today, the Boeing team powered on Starliner systems and performed a variety of pre-undock activities, both on the systems and crew activities to get the capsule ready to come home. Tomorrow, Butch and Sunny will review procedures as they will be the ones closing the hatches between Starliner and the space station.
Just after 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, Starliner is scheduled to undock from the International Space Station, leaving astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams in space as the capsule tracks for an early Saturday arrival.
This will dip Starliner's orbit into our atmosphere and will allow it to land at White Sands, New Mexico, just after midnight Eastern.
The Starliner carried Williams and Wilmore to the International Space Station on June 5th. The plan was for the 2 astronauts to return home in about a week, but the Starliner suffered setbacks with helium leaks and 5 of its 28 thrusters stopped working. After extensive discussion, NASA ultimately decided to bring Starliner back to Earth without the crew on board, but expressed confidence Wednesday that the capsule itself can land.
We have requirements for protecting the public as well, and so we have confidence in the thrusters. We went and looked at the thruster performance.
The astronauts will fly home with the crew of a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule that was already slated to make an ISS routine mission. Their return expected early next year.
A key inflation gauge out Wednesday could further push the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates this month, while a spending showdown on the Hill risks another government shutdown, and in between, consumers just trying to make ends meet. Laura Aguirre brings us the latest from labor officials.
The time has come for policy to adjust. The timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data.
That was the chair of the Federal Reserve in late August. Now another key inflation gauge is out as consumers await a much-anticipated interest rate cut this month. The Labor Department's July jobs report shows available openings down from June by about 240,000, the lowest point since January of 2021, and well below economists' expectation of just over 8 million jobs. July's report also shows the number of people voluntarily quitting their jobs held steady from June, still around 3.2 million. And hiring actually picked up by about 270,000 over the previous month. The relatively level labor market, along with July's consumer price index having cooled to just under 3% year over year, may not only cement a rate cut when the Fed meets 2 weeks from now, but it may mean a deeper cut than the Fed initially planned, which would ease some prices for consumers like mortgages, car loans, and credit purchases.
The core issues facing the American people are the cost of food and housing.
In America, it's hard to have hope if you don't have a home.
While there appears to be bipartisan understanding of what consumers need, the immediate focus for lawmakers is keeping the government running. They'll return to the Hill next week, and they'll have just 13 days to agree on a path forward before the current federal budget runs out September 30th, risking a possible pause in critical government services for millions of Americans. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
You've probably spiced up your coffee, but have you ever thought of substituting it? And no, we're not talking about tea. Jasmine Veal has a scoop on a new alternative to your normal cup of joe.
With menus full of meatless options and dairy-free drinks, there's now beanless coffee.
Everyone wants an alternative, an option.
This coffee alternative is just hitting the market. The beanless espresso is used in lattes at Penny Oven Cafe in Eagle Rock and Bluestone Lane cafes.
All right, so let's make an Atoma.
Atomo Coffee is a Seattle-based startup whose scientists have worked for years to perfect the drink.
But coffee is in trouble.
Andy Kleitch, who co-founded Atomo, wanted to create a healthier and sustainable coffee that uses less water and doesn't cause deforestation.
It takes about 20 coffee trees just for you every year. So if you drink 2 cups of coffee, you need 20 coffee trees to support your coffee habit.
So they set out to recreate the molecular structure of conventional coffee using superfoods high in antioxidants.
These are all things that you would probably never consider would be in a cup of coffee.
So just take a look at the Atomo grounds. I'm told they are a little more dense than normal coffee grounds. And inside of this, all the upcycled plant ingredients like date pits, sunflower, guava. The date seeds are farmed in the Coachella Valley. They use caffeine from green tea for the boost. Coffee operations manager Jordan Rogers was skeptical at first.
Interested, a little confused.
But after a sip, he says coffee drinkers warm right up to it.
Try it out, let us know what you think, and enjoy.
I think it has that, cocoa taste, earthiness for sure.
Tastes a little bit nuttier than a full cup of coffee. We're loving it.
In a taste test, I was able to tell the difference between a traditional latte and the Atomo. The last one had a nuttier flavor to it.
That is correct. So that was Atoma and that was coffee for sure.
The company hoping not only the taste but its environmental impact will pull in some of the 150 million coffee drinkers in the U.S. to the beanless side.
Hide the bananas. The Minions' latest adventure is heading to home video. Rick DeMagella has that story and more in the Hollywood Minute.
New Minions are heading to home video. Universal Pictures Home Entertainment has dated Despicable Me 4 to arrive on digital platforms September 10th and physical media September 24th. Among the release's numerous bonus features is the new Minions short, Game Over and Over. Break Free has been in the Dave Matthew Band's summer tour set list, so you might just get to hear it on their fall tour, kicking off November 15th in Pittsburgh. Other shows are scheduled in Ohio, Connecticut, and New York. And in more DMB news, the band will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame October 19th.
Okay, here we go.
Where are we going?
We're going to Legoland. Lego and Pixar have teamed up to create Lego Pixar Bricktoons. The new series of animated shorts puts a Lego spin on popular Pixar characters. All 5 episodes are now streaming on Disney+. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
That will do it for your business and entertainment update. I'm Mia Henkins. When we return on the newscast, Dean Shazer has your sports.
Good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
What's your plan?
I'll probably just walk home.
You walk?
Yeah.
You drive, right?
No.
Be safe.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get going now.
All right, put some cool water on your face.
All right. I need to go home.
Hey, where you going? I'm walking home. I'll see you boys at the next one, all right?
Welcome back to the newscast. I'm Dean Shazer with sports. Waynesburg University's women's tennis team plays Carlo on the road tomorrow. First serve is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Saturday is an action-packed day for Waynesburg sports, starting with the men and women's cross-country teams. They travel to Newcastle, Pennsylvania for the President's Athletic Conference preview meet. Most likely during this meet, Waynesburg men's soccer plays its first game Saturday afternoon when they go to La Roche. Kickoff will be set for 1 p.m. The Waynesburg University football team also starts a new season this Saturday. The Yellow Jackets play Case Western Reserve at Wiley Stadium right down the road. Waynesburg finished this last season 2-8 and hope to improve heading into the third year of the Coach Coolman era. Game coverage can be found on the Waynesburg University Sports Network. Coverage will begin at 12:30, where you'll see a familiar face on the pregame desk with announcers Will Yoakum and Meg Berry following. After the football game, the women's soccer team plays host to the visiting Mount Aloysius at 6:30 p.m. The women defeated La Roche 2-1 on the road yesterday for a season-opening win. Waynesburg women's volleyball team lost to Muskingum in a 3-set sweep last night. Jordan Stein, however, got her 1,000th dig of her collegiate career as Waynesburg falls to 0-5 on the season. And her conference play begins on September 12th, where Waynesburg hosts Bethany for its home opener at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. Taking a leap into our local high school sports, staying within Greene County, tomorrow brings a fresh slate of Friday night lights, starting with Carmichael's. They play host to Fraser. Mapletown travels to Chartiers Houston. West Greene is at home against Fort Cherry. Waynesburg travels to California, PA, and Jefferson Morgan hosts Mapletown for the only in-conference matchup of the night. Jumping from high school to pros, reigning champions of the last 2 years, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs take on MVP Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Will we see more total touchdowns or more Taylor Swift? My money is on T-Swizzle. But we will find out at 8:20 tonight on NBC. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers traveled to Brazil for the first international game of the year. Many players questioned the decision of going to Brazil for a football game, and it ultimately turned into a controversial topic. The first slate of NFL games begins at 1 p.m. Eastern this Sunday, which means fall is here, and more importantly, fall sports have arrived. That's all for me. This was your Sports Report. I'm Dean Shazer. Up next is Seth Adams with your weather.
You're listening to WCYJ FM, 99.5 The Hive, your home for everything Waynesburg.
Our campus radio station gives students like you a chance to work in live studio environment without ever leaving Waynesburg. WCYJ-FM has specialty shows, sports recaps, and updates, weather, and live coverage of your Yellow Jackets. Tune in at 99.5 The Hive or online at waynesburg.edu/listen.
Welcome back to the newscast live at 5. I'm Seth Adams with your weather. It has been a beautiful day in Waynesburg with sunny skies all day, and it's currently sitting around 80 degrees outside. Tonight it will drop, and in the early morning the temp will be a crisp 50 degrees. That fall weather's finally coming. Tomorrow will be another beautiful day with a high of 81 and low of 50. Friday will be the hottest out of this week's stretch with a high of 84 and sunny with a low of 55. Saturday early morning rain is expected for our home football game, but Dean, don't worry. The rain should be gone by noon, and the high will only be 67 with a low of 50, so bring a sweatshirt. Sunday, we are back with sunny skies with a high of 67 and low of 45. Monday, we will see a slight increase with a high of 73 and low of 45. Tuesday, it gets warmer with a high of 78 and low of 48. And finally, Wednesday, the high will be 80 degrees with a low of 51. That's all I got for you guys. Back over to the desk.
Thank you, Seth. And that will do it for this edition of the newscast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And make sure to stay tuned on WCTV's YouTube page for more WCTV content.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.